The Washington Commanders held their first practice with their 53-man roster, and it was a roster that's mixed up of familiar faces and new faces, obviously. A lot of younger guys on this year's rendition of the Commanders. Dan Quinn and Adam Peters spoke to us before practice and had some very poignant moments as far as how they feel about this roster and why they went with the players that they chose.
The win now is not way down the line. It's not this, the end of the season, and I get that's what a lot of people want to do. But I think we'll miss everything if we do that and look to what's down the line as opposed to how do we just go and keep attacking it, keep getting better. It's our division, all of that. And so if we do what we're capable of doing and play the way that we want to play, we'll be really proud of those results. But to say where it's going to be so far down the line, not interested in that. Just want to see how good we can get and then do it again and do it again. And if we do those over and over, there'll be some really cool things that'll come from that.
This young football team is going to lean on a lot of their players that, a lot of fans may not know about. And one of those players is left tackle Brandon Coleman, who's slated to become the starting left tackle for this football team.
Yeah, the good thing about upper body is you can always work the legs. So just getting my sets in after practice, working that stuff. I had the strength coaches going through the whole script, kind of keeping the mind sharp is the most important thing during that injury. So in the meeting room out here, making sure you know what they're talking about, what the adjustments are to where now when I get back in there, I can come back full swing and I'm not, stopped or stopped.
A veteran who really needs no introduction is quarterback Marcus Mariota, who's going to be Jayden Daniels' backup and be a very important piece for Jayden Daniels as far as someone who was a former number 2 draft pick, a former Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, and a quarterback that hasn't really had the success that maybe that Heisman winning year back in Oregon, has translated to the pros. But nevertheless, he's the ultimate professional, really good guy on top of that. And he had this to say as far as this team.
I think it all kind of depends on what the experience is. When we're out here on the practice field, I just try to reiterate what I see. And then when we're in the meeting room, it's like, hey, I've experienced this before in my career. What do you think about doing this? So it's kind of ever changing as we go through the season together. But like I told him, man, there's going to be ups and downs, and we're going to be in this thing together.
So overall, the first day is in the books for the official 2024 53-man roster for the Washington Commanders. We'll be back here tomorrow, and then we have a break until Wednesday of next week. And I would venture to say that there's probably going to be 3, 4, maybe 5 more players added to this roster and subtracted on top of that by the time we come back on Wednesday. But there'll be a lot more stuff that we'll be talking about. It's here now, folks. It's a very hot day out here for this first practice, almost 100 degrees. So I think for everyone out there should be an excitement about this football team. This is the Dan Quinn and Adam Peters and now even Josh Harris era, and they have their face of the franchise in Jayden Daniels, and they'll have to get ready for their first game, which will be in less than 2 weeks in Tampa against the Buccaneers, a playoff team for last year. So we'll have a lot more that we'll be talking about. As always, folks, you can follow me on social media at Lake Lewis Jr. on all platforms. And then you can follow and subscribe to my new show, which is the Lake Lewis Jr. Show. You can subscribe to that on pretty much every major podcast carrier, as well as on YouTube under the Sports Journey channel.